Welcome to my kitchen. You might be wondering what this is about. We are dry canning potatoes today.
This is our journey. Welcome to the Betancourts homestead.
What is dry canning potatoes? The most amazing potato you will ever open in a can. Like literally the most amazing potato. Every time my husband opens a can, he makes a comment about, I love these potatoes. Let me show you what they look like. So this is a half-used jar. They're canned with no water in them. These were probably a little bit wetter than they should have been. So this is the first time I canned them. This is going to be the second time that I'm canning dry potatoes. You literally just can them without water. I'll link the recipe. It's a recipe that was not created, but tested by Diane Devereaux, the canning diva. And I'll link a copy of that article in the description below. So gather that. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to wash, dry all of the potatoes. I have 60 pounds of potatoes. I'm not gonna be able to do this all in one day, but I am going to be using both of my pressure canners and a new toy. What we're going to do now is I'm going to wash all of the potatoes. Part of dry canning potatoes is that you wash them really well because it's the dirt, soil, organisms that are on the potatoes because they grow in the ground. For people that didn't know that, potatoes grow in the ground, in the soil. And it's the soil organisms that have botulism. This kind of botulism that we have that can affect us in canning comes from the soil. So I'm going to wash all of the potatoes. You don't have to peel them. I do peel some if I think they're dirty and I can't get it clean. And then we're gonna come back and we're gonna use this for the first time with a batch of potatoes. This will be my station here in life for the next, I'm probably going to assume this is gonna take all day. Welcome to my kitchen. I am probably on my 20th pound of potatoes. We are chopping them in cubes. These are in cubes. I have French fries over in another bucket. They're going to be soaking for an hour. So what I have done is I have washed them, scrubbed them, because you don't have to really peel them. I have peeled some where I didn't like the skin, and I'm slicing and dicing, and then I'm going to let them soak and take a much needed break. I'll probably do about 30 pounds today. And I'll have all of the pressure canners going. So I'm gonna get going and finish the rest of these. After they soak, you're soaking them just to get the starches out of them. And because these are russet potatoes, I will be soaking them a lot longer. I'll be doing 2 one-hour soaks on them. And then I will pack them into jars, and I'll come back and talk to you when I'm packing them into the jars. This is what they're going to be doing for an hour. They will be soaking, and I will be drinking coffee. Now I'm on my second rinse. I just took all of the potatoes and I ran them through the colander, and I rinsed them really good, and then I put them back in clean water where they are soaking in clean water. I did that also with these potatoes. Now I'm going to wash up these jars. I'm not going to heat them up, but I'm going to wash them because they were out in the garage. And I'm going to wash 16 of these. Now, these jars are going to be double stacked in my tall All-American, and these jars are going to be the French fries, and they are going to go in the new canner and my single stack All-American. I'll have 3 canners at once. Oh, that's going to be so much fun. I'm gonna get to washing these jars. I have got my lids here. I just put them on slightly warm water just to warm the rubber. I have my bands for my first 2 canners right here. Now, because we are working with cold potatoes, cold jars, we're putting cold water in the canner. That way, we don't shock the jars when we go to put them in. I'm doing everything I possibly can before I start the canning process to make it as easy flowing as possible. Not always easy, but well worth every single bit. So my potatoes are still soaking in water. You want to get your potatoes dry. because the wetness down here was the wetness of the potatoes. So you're always gonna have a little bit of that, but the drier you get your potatoes that have been soaking in the water for 2 hours, the less you're gonna have of this. So I'm drying potatoes. The one thing you wanna do with canning these potatoes is you wanna get them dry really good after you've rinsed them for the second time. So we're rinsing them, and then we gotta make sure we get them dry. So I am going to lay them out on this towel while I rinse all the other ones. And we'll just work in small batches. Time to start packing. The deal with dry packing potatoes is you do smush a little bit of melted butter on them, and then you pack them in the jars. So starting the melting butter process, I melted that butter. I'm just gonna pour half of it in, just a little bit, because I just want to coat. And this is where it starts getting slippery. I'm gonna coat the potatoes, and then I'm gonna start packing my jars. And you don't flood them with butter, just a little bit does a great job. Just keep adding in. Now you can add salt and pepper if you want. That's just gonna be for seasoning and taste. We season ours just as we're using them. That way, if we have a special dish we're using them for, we can season them with that. And we know that all of them are not seasoned. Okay, time to put these slippery puppies in the jar. I got all the jars full. Now I'm gonna wipe the rims down with vinegar and get all of the butter off of the rims. Seriously. They are tucked in there like crazy. And then we are going to start capping them and putting them in the canner. Remember, cold canner, cold jars, cold food, there you go. Now, because I am cleaning the grease off, I'm gonna actually clean the grease a little bit on the inside too. That way, if it boils up or the heat brings up the butter, it won't ruin my seal. I really wanna concentrate on the seal because I don't want any failures. Because I'm doing such a large batch, that if I have 3 failures, we're gonna be eating a lot of potatoes. So just take your time. Okay, it's time to load the jars. So I'm going to load and then I'll show you what they both look like. We have a full canner load here. It holds considerably more than the other one. And we have this Presto electric digital canner and it is fully loaded. And then I'm going to get the big double decker out down there and fill up with these and get this going. This one will take forever, just preparing you. Yep, he is ready. So we're going to unhook him and open him up. I let it sit in that position for about 5 minutes while the steam comes out. I have less siphoning when I am gently, carefully, and slowly removing the jars. And letting the air come in slowly. My big gal over here is getting unloaded. The pin just dropped, so we're gonna release it, open it up, and see what we've got. That's what we have, so now I'm gonna pull them out, and so that's the first batch. that came out of my small Faithful. And this came out of the double decker. And this, which is a different color, just came out of the digital pressure canner.